The next step in due diligence is inspecting legal documents. The first place that we're going to start is with contracts. And what we're going to do is examine all the contracts and look at the customer contracts, supplier agreements, employment contracts and agreements, and any sort of loan agreements. Okay, so why are we doing this? Well, with customer contracts, you want to understand, do long-term contracts bind the business's key customers, or are they free to leave any time? Contracts with major customers provide stability and reduce risk. Supplier agreements. You want to review agreements with suppliers to ensure favorable terms. If the business relies on a single supplier, assess the risk of losing that relationship. Employment contracts. You want to determine whether key employees are under contract. You want to review any sort of non-compete or non-conclosure or non-solicitation agreements that protect the business. And of course, loan agreements. You want to examine the terms of any outstanding obligations that the company may be under to repay some money. Next up is leases. If the business rents its facilities, you want to review the lease agreements to ensure that they are favorable and transferable. You're going to consider the lease terms, transferability, and the length of the lease. For the lease terms, you want to understand, are the lease terms reasonable, and are there any upcoming rent increases due? If so, what are they? Transferability. Will the landlord agree to transfer the lease to you as the new owner, or is there going to be a big fee increase that you're not expecting? And then length of the lease. How much more time remains on the lease, and what are the renewal or purchase options available? Next, we're going to review the licenses and permits. We're going to verify that the business holds all necessary permits and licenses that are required. This is really important because for regulated industries like healthcare, food services, and construction, that these are required just to operate. So if there's a miss here, it's really going to hurt you. And you're going to ensure that the licenses are valid and that they're current and not close to expiration. And of course, that they're transferable. You need to confirm whether these licenses can be transferred to a new owner. And if they can't be transferred, that there's some other option available that you can discuss with the seller to make the sale feasible. You also want to discuss intellectual property and look at those agreements. If the business owns intellectual property, known as IP, such as patents, trademarks, or copyrights, you want to ensure these are adequately protected. This is going to include ownership rights and validity. With the ownership rights, you want to verify the business has clear ownership of all IP that they say they do, and that no disputes exist over ownership. And validity, ensure that the patents and trademarks are still valid and enforceable.